I'd like to call a regular city commission meeting to order. We roll call invitation.
Lord, thank you for the opportunity to come together to look for the good of the city of Eagle Lake. Help us to discuss the matters at hand in a reasonable way. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Billings.
Here.
Commissioner Meescott. Commissioner Street notified you that she was detained at work and would not be able to attend. Commissioner Pito. Here. Mayor Wilson.
Here.
Make a motion to excuse Commissioner Freed.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone in the audience have something to discuss that's not on the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, can I real quick, can I make a point real quick? I just wanted to let the members of the commission know, you might notice that there is a time clock down here. Dawn got that in some weeks or months ago and was finally able to get it set up. The city commission actually passed back in 2013 ordinance 14-01, and this was when a new state law regarding public participation came out, chapter 286.0441. In any event, an ordinance was passed. It's never been strictly enforced because of the lack of a time clock. We have one now, and I just wanted to let the commission know that the 3 minutes is for public participation unless the council desires to extend that according to the ordinance. And that was all.
No,
There's no clock.
Can you see it? All right. Okay. Audience.
Pamela Cheney, 790 North 8th Street. Tom, by any chance, have you done that report? Did I get a copy of it?
Yes, I did, and I prepared it, and I will give you a copy of it.
Do you know when?
I can give it to you. I don't have it with me, but I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Just stop by and I'll take care of it for you.
Okay.
My turn.
Edward Cheney, 790 North 8th Street, Gulf Street. So, did they do the traffic study for the stop signs?
Yes, they did, and Brian and I have been talking, and those stop signs are in order. And once we get them, you know, they will be installed, and then we'll evaluate how they work. And if they don't work, you know, obviously we'll take them down, but we'll see how it works.
We don't want them coming down.
No, I understand, but, you know, depending on what happens, we'll take a look at it.
Okay, so has anything been done about getting the neighborhood clean with the ordinance? Or, I'm sorry, it's not directed to you, it's coming.
Oh, I understand. Yes, we are evaluating everything, and we are taking a look at all the yards.
So they've been issued a notice.
They have not been issued a notice yet, but we're taking a look at all the yards, and then we're just going to send out.
You got one?
Yes, we're going to send out a blanket notice for everybody to make sure everything's taken care of.
What happened to the ordinances when everyone gets a notice, they have to come in from the magistrate on a certain day, magistrate canceled the last meeting because I showed up.
That's right.
So basically nothing's being done.
That's right. What happens is we'll give people notices if they address the infraction. That infraction then goes away, and there's no need for a magistrate hearing. So, for example, we get somebody say, move your car, and they move that car, there's no need to go before a magistrate.
Okay. I'm going to say this respectfully to everyone here, okay? Excusing Ms. Peta and Ms. Breeze, some of these members have been on this commission and as mayor for quite some time. It seems like nothing's getting done, and this has nothing, does not reflect on you, Tom. So, if no one wants to do it, why not step down? There were resignations out, 3 of them, but there was one pulled back because they were concerned about a quorum. Well, we have no people for that now. Okay? Susie, with all due respect, that yard car down there still looks like hell, and you know it does.
Well, I'll get Brian, send a notice to my renter, make sure you address his name on the notice.
Yeah, you put mine there just one.
Put it on the notice. You're not here complaining about a certain problem.
That's right. I'm all of that.
You need to leave my renter alone.
Yeah.
The man's hard working and he works, and if you don't like something,
So do I.
you call Mr. Brian in private.
If this gets to you because you're a property owner, I'm sorry, okay?
sorry too.
But I would assume that in your
Man's
lease
doing the
agreement, you have that they need to maintain their property. Susie, you know it looks like hell down there, because you sit right next to it, and nothing's done, okay? Is this because you're the mayor? I don't know. But you may want to consider resigning again, thank you.
Your 3 minutes
But
is up.
back where it belongs, all I can tell you.
It's because the grass between that fence, it's over a foot tall. I just drove down the street, okay? And I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna give me one for, grass, weeds, and all that stuff and everything. That's okay. You know what?
He ain't gonna give you one.
But the thing of it is if we have to do it, everyone should have to do it who lives here. Everyone.
We agree.
But it's not.
It's just the same
Same
issue, different month.
We will work, we
No,
will work
no,
towards
it's not.
the common issues, addressing those issues.
Yeah, it's okay.
You fixing it?
Brandon Blackman, 3090 Pollard Road, Winter on Blackman's Barbecue in Eagle Lake. I'm sure some of y'all heard of it. I want to show appreciation to all the city workers of what they did this past Saturday for 4th of July thing. Despite all the rain and everything, they still made it all happen. And it was all good. I know there's a lot of hate and everything going through everybody, or, like from Facebook and all that stuff, and I read all of it and stuff. I know it's difficult trying to get everybody together, to get everything going, but it was a really good show. I mean, of everything, the side of the ring from the car showed everything, so I did want to appreciate all the employees and what they did and whatnot, so I know that, I don't know, especially right now, I don't think everybody's getting no glorification or, appreciation on that. So definitely on that standpoint. So I know y'all are gonna acknowledge him and whatnot, so I just feel like as a city, I feel like we all need to kind of work together on all this stuff. Like every time it seems like we come to these meetings, there's a lot of bickering and stuff like that, which I get it, we have disagreements, but I feel like we can all kind of knock it all down and make it all simplified, because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team here. We're all part of Eagle Lake, so I just feel like I need to come up here and say that. And, I know everybody works hard at what they do. Carlton works hard. All these girls work hard. Brian and his crew does above and beyond with, 2 guys, Brian? So, 2.5, sorry. So, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I have to admit, that was the best 4th of July I have seen. That was awesome.
Well, since the 100th. When we had the 100th, that's the first weekend it never rained. And we actually put well in the parade and everything we did.
Maybe we need to move it to a week before or something.
Yeah. But yeah, every week that we tend to do it, it seems to rain. And that puts a damper on things. But no, this was a great one. Sammy and her crew went together with everybody, that the vendors and such. Dan in Public Works, he went above and beyond for the car show.
Oh, yeah.
Carlton and the sheriff department did everything they could with bringing stuff out, and everybody just put everything together. It worked out beautifully.
It sure did. It was nice.
I even got to read the winners for the car show, and if I could read Brandon's writing, I probably would have went better. I thought I had bad writing until I saw his. I was like, what does this say? Yeah, I think even one guy said, I said SS, and the guy goes, that's 55. I go, is it really?
I'm left-handed, so.
Yeah. But no, everything went great. I think everybody had a good time. I know staff had a good time. And, we all pulled together and we got it done, and it was just a great event.
Well, I think everyone done a fantastic job. It was awesome. And any of y'all that didn't go, y'all really missed something. Anyone else have anything?
John Wood, PO Box 24224. I'm not gonna get my physical address. And
I couldn't understand your name, sir.
John Woodard.
Thank you.
Susie, I'm gonna stand up for you and say there's a reason you've been there this long. I think you do speak for the majority and more than just a few people. Tom, I've talked to you several times, never been good, but I think you've done a pretty good job. Anybody that says Eagle Lake's going downhill, I think they weren't here long enough. I've been here 37 years. I don't think they remember the Linda Weldon days. It takes time to get where you're going. There was a lot of debt that you took on board to get where we are today. Peter, I'd like to ask you a question. I hope that's your name. I'm not trying to repeat myself, but the last meeting about the votes and stuff, Mr. Chaney here recanted that. So do you feel that the citizens of Eagle Lake, we should pretty well all live like HOA laws, and we should pay a storage shed to park our boats?
Is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was commenting on what they were speaking of directly about boats. She was asking, well, what should somebody do if they're on a corner lot and that sort of thing. So I was answering her question. So you can either put it in the backyard or you can get a storage facility, that sort of thing. Like we have a boat, we have it in the garage. And it's not that I think everybody should live like they're in an HOA. I think everybody should take pride in what God's given them. And I think that it shouldn't look like a hoarding situation out in front of somebody's house. And you have people like my husband and my son and other people who will come and help you clean up if you can't do that. Or if there's something going on, if there's mental health issues, or there's a job loss, or there's a vet, or an elderly person or a widow. So there are people who are willing to help. But like my husband got up last month and offered on the record and on Facebook if anybody would like, and they got one call. So they spent 2 days doing a lady's front backyard. So that's the thing. It's not about living in an HOA.
The house is about the location. It's unsightly from what we're saying. What we're talking about.
If we're talking about the one that I'm not really sure, but I think.
Let him finish.
No, I asked.
He's asking me a question.
Corner house, because I could have sworn it's about the corner house, and you asked where we parked it, and then we said there's several storage sheds. Well, if I bought that property, and the only place I can park it, that's my property, I'm gonna park it on the side yard. If you don't like it, I don't live in an HOA for a reason.
So you just have to obey whatever the code ordinances are in the books for the city that you choose to live in, okay? So I don't have an issue with boats. That is like kind of being taken out of context from a conversation that was like plucking something in the middle. Okay, so I just answered the question about what I was saying about the boats and the content. As far as living in an HOA, I choose to live in an HOA. A lot of people don't, but you still have to respect the fact that everybody wants their property value to go up over the years. And when you have street after street and it's dilapidated and nobody's taking care of it, it ends up bringing everybody's property value down, and that brings in blight and it brings in crime, and that's just a proven fact. So I got nothing against boats.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Anybody else? Staff reports.
Good evening.
Get it.
Well, 57 cases were brought before you last month due to the complaint. 54 are closed due to property owner compliance. 3 are awaiting permitting from Polk County Building Department. There's 17 new cases since the last meeting, 7 for high grass weeds overgrowth, 1 for building permit required for a front and rear screen on an eye, 1 for a building permit required for an accessory structure, 1 junk, trash, and debris, 3 irrigation violations, 1 door-to-door solicitation, 1 camping in a residential district, 1 for derelict vehicle, 1 commercial vehicle parking in a residential district. There were 12 lien searches conducted, 20 fence plan reviews, 9 fence inspections. We've issued 5 new home permits, 4 renovation permits, 4 accessory permits, 8 re-roof permits, 2 commercial permits for accessory structures and subdivision walls, 13 miscellaneous trade permits. And an update for case 2062, property located at 739 3rd Street North. We know it is the Harlan Harris property. The city has paid the back taxes that were due on 6/20/2024, and a motion for summary judgment has been filed. We're just waiting for that to hit the books, and we'll get a hearing date.
Yeah, thanks to Brian, we're moving to acquire the Harlan Harris property. And once we do, we can just resell it. Given this market, hopefully we can make some profit on it. To cover the cost that we have to clean it up, I think we did it twice. So we've cleaned that property up.
We've got approximately $90,000.
So we're hoping to cover our costs, once the foreclosure goes through and then we're able to resell it. So to cover the city's costs for cleaning that property up.
So the stats I'm gonna go over today will cover what has transpired since our last commission meeting. We ran 217 calls for service. We arrested 77 people. Those 77 arrests are comprised of 97 misdemeanors and 18 felonies. 56 subjects were charged or arrested for various traffic offenses. 4 subjects were arrested for possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. 4 subjects were arrested for outstanding warrants. 2 subjects were arrested for possession of fentanyl, methamphetamine, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia. 1 subject crashed into a house. While they were investigating that, they found out that he had a suspended driver's license. They arrested him for that, and he ended up having meth and drug paraphernalia on his person. Another person was arrested for trespassing and searched incident to arrest. He also had meth and drug paraphernalia on. 3 subjects were arrested for violating the county ordinance of panhandling in the roadway. 1 of those subjects had meth and drug paraphernalia on him, and the other had marijuana and drug paraphernalia on him. 3 subjects were arrested for battery and domestic violence. And keep in mind, we have 2 or 3 of these people that keep violating the county ordinance, and it's the same thing over and over. We get them for panhandling, they're walking in and out of traffic, then we have meth and drug paraphernalia. I think one of the guys we've arrested 7 times, and I think another one that we've arrested 6 times. So I don't know what they're gonna quit kicking them out. But so we also had 2 vehicle burglaries since our last meeting. These were both unrelated, separate incidents. The first one, the guys conducted a neighborhood canvass, got some good surveillance footage, identified the suspect, went to his house, got a full confession, and arrested him, recovered the property. And the second case, we recovered a runaway juvenile. He had a backpack, and when they put him in the backpack, they found all the stolen property from other burglaries. So we solved both of those vehicle burglaries. But keep in mind, they were both unlocked, and it may not have even occurred if the people had locked their vehicles. Another subject violated his terms of his pretrial release by arriving to the victim's residence. While at the residence, a fight broke out in which the suspect began to choke the victim, took the victim's cell phone, and fled on a bicycle in an unknown direction. We immediately launched air, canine, and several additional units flooded the area to locate the suspect. I believe we apprehended him in less than 10 minutes, hiding on the way to Great Polk. He was hiding in the bushes. He was arrested, transported without incident. He was charged for battery by strangulation, domestic violence, tampering with the victim, and violation of pretrial release. Also, I'm not sure if everybody got cups and water guns, but I think we gave out close to 1,000 of the cups and about 1,000 water guns. We've been stockpiling those for probably the last year to give out to the event, and I don't know, it seemed to turn out really well. I mean, as far as the kids and stuff, I saw them going out to the lake, filling up their water guns, and then just shooting each other all over the place. So they seem to have a good time with it. And I'm already starting to stockpile stuff for next year and Halloween too. So keep in mind, I think that we're working on getting some school supplies too, also to save the city some funds. We conducted 331 traffic stops. We also did 17 field interview reports, and then just over 1,600 building checks. Do you have any questions?
No, but the kids sure enjoying the water
I
guns.
know, so we said, did you get hit with any hard?
Can I jump in before manager Turner? I just wanted to let the commission know that Jermaine Nigel resigned from the CRA board, so we do have an opening on the CRA board.
And for the city manager report, I have nothing official. We have a lot going on, but nothing that I want to bring to the public's attention this time. But we're working on a number of the different things that will come out in next coming months.
Mr. County?
I don't have anything to report that, that the commission isn't already aware of. I'm sure you already are aware of the court case with regard to the Form 6 and the Form 1, so everybody's filing a Form 1 for now. There was an injunction granted preliminarily, so that is going to be on hold for now. All the commissioners can file the standard Form 1 that you've been filing for however long you've been filing these forms, and waiting on a final order from the court, so that may be some time, but we will keep you posted on that. So far, it's a favorable result, but it's not final yet.
Hopefully it'll hold up. Old business, discussion of the pickleball court. I think this ought to be tabled until we get the park redone, which is already in the plans, and get with the city manager at that time.
I'm sorry, say that part again, the part 3, what was that?
The park, or the city park, is already in the plans. Have you been in to see the city manager and seen the plans yet?
So I've gone in to see him quite a few times, but he hasn't said anything about a park. When I gave him the binder of all the things with the park in it, he never said anything about there being any plans about the park.
Well, we get a grant we use it every 2 years?
Yeah, it's a CDBG grant that we get.
Every 2 years. And then that's when we put in all the new stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
But if you get with him,
but she's asking about a pickleball court.
yeah,
In this park, with the CDBG funds that we're getting now, they changed the area from City Hall Park to the Eagle Lake Park. So now all the improvements that are in Eagle Lake Park, now come into CDBG funds. The ones out of the City Hall Park come out of our funds. And I have heard, I've had requests for pickleball, and I've had requests for a dog park, and I put money in the budget. Right now it's at $50,000, and we can take a look at evaluating the pickleball court, because we talked about where the skateboard park was. We had talked about putting it there, and I know Bartow just put in two pickleball courts. So I'm working to get a hold of them to find out what their cost was to do that, to see whether or not we can incorporate that into our budget, or at least part of it into our budget.
yeah.
So all I'm asking is that, we evaluate Ms. Peters' request, because I have gotten requests from the public for pickleball within the City Hall Park. And we've got the vacant property now, once we took the skateboard park out.
So you can incorporate it with the rest of the stuff.
Yes,
Or,
yeah, if that's okay with you, Commissioner Peters.
I'd like to continue because I did a lot of research and I'd like to be able to present it.
Yep.
as long as it ain't one of them long reading things, because we've all read them, let's just go with it.
So I'm gonna go with all the stuff that I researched because it's for the benefit of the residents, not for our convenience of sitting here. So the pickleball court for the old skate park.
This lady.
Are you done? Can I see?
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay here, and it's all the same, you have got surgery tomorrow, and we all read it. Even the
Okay.
audience has an opportunity to read it.
So I'm going to take this time because it's on the agenda and I'm going to read it.
All right, you take it.
Okay.
I'm out of here. No?
So, for those of you who have not had a chance to download it or read it, if you're familiar with the old skate park, It's right over here by the city hall. They've taken it all out, so now it's a fresh location. What I'm recommending is from the research I've gathered, and it's not a lot. It's not. So this is my research on pickleball for those who don't know and for those who are interested and who do like this sport. Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports among all generations, and it can be played with 2 to 4 players. Pickleball promotes exercise, good cardiovascular health, and is natural stress relief while taking vitamin D from the sun. Should I just wait?
Go ahead.
The old skate park provides enough space for 1 to 6 pickleball courts. The City Hall Park has not had a sports upgrade in a long time, and offering this sport would be a great resource for our residents of all ages. Local bids can be obtained and ranged in pricing depending on the number of courts installed. One court is roughly 30 feet by 60 feet, which includes the variance of walking space around the lined court. The commission can vote yes on this proposal without personally wanting to play pickleball or even knowing how it's played. This proposal is being offered as a new recreational resource for our residents on a former sports court. So for those of you in the audience, I did give an artist rendition and I took a photo of where it would actually be, and it fits perfectly. So I would like to make the motion and have it on record that I think that pickleball should go on the old skate park. Whether soon or at some other point, but have that be in the works.
Yeah, as I said, I've got money in the budget to evaluate it and looking at that location because I have had requests to put a pickleball in that location, and it is an underutilized spot since the skateboard park was there and it's been closed for the longest time, and we just removed it, and I think it's an appropriate location, and there's money in the proposed budget to evaluate it. I have no objection to it.
There was a motion and no second. Let's continue on to the dog park.
So the second item that I'm proposing is the dog park or the pup park. This is the research I found. Many residents own dogs and consider them family. Offering a dog park divided up with one side being for small dogs and the other side being for large dogs would create an outdoor space for residents to eat, socialize, and play with their pet away from home. There are a few unused parcels of land that the city currently owns but does not use regularly that would make a nice location for a pup park. One location is just next to this commission building, right outside here, parking along Eagle Ave, which offers plenty of parking along with roadway as well. Another location is along the railroad track on US 17, closer to the fire station, not in the event parking area. There are a few triangular shaped parcels of land that could be a great location for those nearby to walk to at least be able to get one into the city. There is also a large square-shaped parcel of land that the city owns that's untouched just behind the old skate park, and it's next to a home actually, and I don't even know if a lot of people even know that that's there, and it's next to the senior center. And I have a map of all these locations if anybody wants to download them or if they've already are following along. There's also land for sale along Eagle Ave that can be bought and made into a dog park, if so desired. The pup park will be just as all parks in the city, which is use at your own risk. A rule sign can be displayed, which would include only friendly dogs allowed and please pick up after your pup. Nice inexpensive metal signs can be made, customized on Amazon for like $30. I also have pictures of them here. A dog waste trash bin and bags can be installed for around $100, which includes the sign. The dog park would consist of a 4-foot chain link fence and a gate at each entrance for the small dogs and large dogs. A bench could be offered in each side. Residents can bring their own portable water for their pet, just like they would if they were on a road trip. Many cities offer dog parks and they enjoy them. And An audit that the city had a while back stated in the report that 4 acres of land should be made available for every 1,000 people or residents, and currently our city does not offer that acreage for parks. A dog park would give residents more outdoor space and closer to the park recommendations on the audit report. This would be called the Eagle Lake Pup Park. Commissioners can vote yes to this proposal and not own a dog or even plan to use the park. This proposal is for the benefit and use of the residents and their dogs. And again, I have pictures, maps. Here's a sign, Eagle Lake Pup Park, metal sign, dog park rules, trash can, all the information. So with that, whether it be a specific location or any of the locations that the land that's not being used that the city owns, I think adding a pup park would be a great use for our residents. So I make the motion to start a dog park.
No second, moving on to the third. I see you beautiful award, yard award.
Yes. So the third item I am proposing is the I See You Beautiful Yard sign recognized by any commissioner who wants to participate. So this would basically encourage people to keep their yard beautiful and be recognized for it. In a world where a lot of people go unnoticed, like Blackburn just said about giving recognition, a lot of people don't feel seen and they put a lot of hard work into their yard. And I, for one, appreciate a lot of the yards that I do drive by, whether they're in an HOA, but a lot of them aren't in an HOA. And I would like to be able to start that program where commissioners can independently, so we would definitely not have to come together and agree. It would be independent where there would be a sign that says, I see you, and it would be in quotations, thank you for having a beautiful yard, recognized by Commissioner, and the last name of that commissioner. They would present it to that person and have a conversation with them. It would be a great way for people to meet the commissioners and let them know. And they can put it with permission in their front yard for a week, a month, or however long. This is what I have up. This is like a $30 sign on Amazon. It's metal. Each commissioner would get one with their own name, and they can go and not to their friends, so there's no bias, keep it fair and ethical, would give that to residents that they see, they wanted to say, hey, thank you, I see you. So with my research on that, it's a good way to show appreciation to our residents for maintaining a beautiful yard, and by thanking them face to face, starting a conversation. A 12-inch by 12-inch metal yard sign can be custom made for under $30 on Amazon, will be given out to a new resident each month or at will of the commissioner who recognizes a beautiful yard. The commissioner's name would be on the sign as to who observed the yard's beauty. This would eliminate any resident thinking the entire commission picked one property or they had favoritism. Any questions or concerns would be directed to that specific commissioner. This initiative is solely to show appreciation to residents who go above and beyond to maintain a stunning property in the opinion of any commissioner who wishes to participate. This initiative will hopefully inspire more residents to care more about the aesthetics of their property or properties and take more care in their contribution to the neighborhood. In a world that rarely expresses gratitude, we have an opportunity as the City Commission to tell residents face to face that we see them and we appreciate what they are doing with their home. This is an inexpensive way to personally reach our city. The Commission can vote yes on this proposal and not want to participate personally. So with that, I make a motion to pass this and to vote on this. I love it.
There's no lack of a second there. We'll move on to new business. Approval of this set fiscal year 24-25.
Yeah, the millage rate that we're proposing is the same millage rate we've had for the last 10 or 15 years. We're just looking to set the millage rate at 7.6. I'm such a little blank. 7.6516, which is the same rate that we've had for 10, 15 years. And we're looking to continue that rate moving forward, and we're looking to set the dates to approve that amount.
Is the city attorney going to agree?
No.
There's no resolution at this time.
Saying it's the 10 days, right?
Yeah, basically, it's to set our millage rate as prompted at 7.6516 and to notify the property appraiser and the state of the public hearings for the tentative millage and proposed budgets for Wednesday, September 4th at 7 p.m. And then the second public hearing for the final millage and the final budget for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, both at 7 o'clock.
Need a motion?
Yes.
Make that a motion.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Okay. Can I get a roll call?
Roll call?
Commissioner Billings?
Yes.
Commissioner Mekar?
Yes.
Commissioner Peters?
Yes.
Approval of the request qualifications for construction manager at Risk Services for the new City Hall complex.
Yeah, I think we bypassed the budget part, but for this one, then we'll back that to the budget. What we're looking for is to move forward with the construction project to build the new City Hall. And the next step for that is to engage a construction manager, and we're asking for permission to bid for that.
Can I have a motion?
Yes.
I make that a motion.
I'll second it. Motion and a second. Roll call?
Public comment. Was there public comment?
Any public comments on it?
I have a question. This is just to delay it. Is that what this is?
Now, this is the next step in the construction project proposal is to hire a construction manager that will work with the city in order to move the project forward. So this is not a delay. This is a step forward.
Okay.
Roll call?
All in favor will be silent.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Consideration of resolution number R-24-08, resolution of the City Commission, City of Eagle Lake, to temporarily discontinue the issuance of new irrigation water meters providing a conflict cause and an effective date.
Yeah, and with this, just a little background, we have a permit from Swiftmud in terms of the amount of water we can draw out of the upper Floridian aquifer. We're up against that permit right now with the growth that we've had. We have 3 or 4 projects that we're currently working on to gain additional water supplies. The growth has outpaced those projects. So what we're looking at doing is eliminating people from putting irrigation meters in, so that we can save our water within our permit for homes and businesses and things like that. So that's the purpose of this resolution, is to, instead of having green grass, having water for people to drink. That's the whole purpose of this resolution.
Is it to a point where we need to control what we have already?
That's the point of what we're doing. Yes. And then, Swiftmud had said, because since we're part of that water cooperative, they will work with us in terms of increasing our amount of water we can pull temporarily from the upper Floridian, but it's a process to go through and get permission from them to increase that amount. So as a stopgap measure, so that we have water within our permit for homes and businesses and such, we want to move to stop issuing new irrigation meters. If you currently have one, it's fine, but moving forward, any additional applications will not be honored under this resolution. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And people can still water the yards. This wouldn't be through an irrigation meter. we're not stopping people from watering the grass, but it would just be under their regular old water meter that they have at their house.
Any comments from the audience?
There's no reclaim here, Tom?
No, we do not. We're in agreement with Bartow. We send all of our sewer waste to Bartow. We don't have a sewer plant here in the city, so we do not have any reclaimed water ability. And I don't think Bartow does. Brian, does Bartow have it?
Yeah, I think so.
No, Bartow does not have reclaimed either.
I have a question. So if we say no to this, then what's gonna be the action of that?
The action of that is people coming in and asking for water, like developers. They want to water their plants or the parks or whatever, and asking for a meter just to water grass. The answer would be no. We don't have the ability to do that.
So if you knew that there was all these homes being built all this time, then how come something wasn't done before now? Why are we?
Once again, I said, we have 4 projects that we're currently working on, but the development and the growth has outpaced those projects. Those projects take time to get approved. We have an intergovernment agreement with Winter Haven for an interconnect with them in order to gain additional water. They had a pre-construction meeting this month to start that project. We are working with the water cooperative. The water cooperative says it'll be 2028 before they can get us water. We are working with the Green Acres water plant that we currently own to rebuild that. And we're trying to acquire property, which is, property owner isn't talking to us. So we have to go through the condemnation process for that, which takes time. We're also working on our agreement with SwiftMud to increase our permit. So there's 4 different things that we're currently working on. And development, when developers come in and ask for 25, 30 building permits a week, it's hard for us to keep up with that. And that's why we're at we're at.
So when did you realize that we didn't have the infrastructure for the amount of residents that we've approved?
We've got the infrastructure. It's just SwiftMud that's holding back on the water permit. That's all it is.
So if we vote yes to this doesn't in any way harm our residents with them not having water or the proper care of water or?
The whole purpose of this is to ensure that our residents have water. And we're not concerned about green grass. We're concerned about providing water to our residents.
Hey, Tom. So if I decide to put a shallow well in,
I'm sorry.
I said if I decide to put a shallow well in.
Can you come up to the?
Oh, yeah. So if I decide to put a shallow well in, and you pull that irrigation pump, because I have irrigation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you pull the meter, then would.
Real quick, sir, can we get your name in the record too again?
Oh, I'm sorry, I would change 790 State Street.
Please. Get the recording.
I'm hoping to put one in, an irrigate, a shallow well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you pull that meter, if something happens and the well ever dries up, which I doubt it will, but would I ever be able to get that meter back?
Yes. This is a temporary.
Oh, it's just temporary.
It's temporary until, like I said, we got 4 projects in the works now.
Yeah.
It's a stopgap between now and then.
Okay.
Water cooperative says 2028.
Yeah.
So if 2028 comes, it won't be a problem.
Okay.
That's what it is.
No new meters, is that what you said?
No new irrigation meters is what we're talking about.
Yeah, can I clarify just in case as well? So this is temporary, no new irrigation meters. Anybody can water their lawn, but it just won't be with the benefit of an irrigation meter. So they can still water, they're gonna be paying sewer charges on that water, even though it's not going into the sewer. So no new irrigation meters. Anybody that has an irrigation meter can still use it, and anybody can still water their lawn. It's just, if the city is looking at not issuing new irrigation permits, and we have written in the resolution as well that it is temporary, and that the city manager is authorized to discontinue the effect of the resolution upon determination that sufficient water capacities become available for the city and its water utility customers. And the reason for that was so that once Tom has that communication from SwiftMud or whomever brings that permitting capacity, that he can immediately cease the resolution, and folks can go ahead and start getting their water meters back in.
Yeah, our concern is we do nothing, SWIFMA comes in and they clamp down on us. And we're trying to avoid that, and that's why we're doing this. You know, we're trying to do this to protect our residents, to protect our city, you know, and that's why I said, we're better off providing water to our residents than having green grass. That's what it boils down to.
We need a roll call for this.
I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Yes, roll call.
it. Roll call.
Commissioner Billings?
Yes.
Commissioner Mitosh?
Yes.
Commissioner Peta?
Yes.
The consent agenda approval of regular city commission meeting.
Yeah, we're gonna back up for a second here to I think it's D. I don't know if on, but that goes back to the budget. Now the budget, I have it on tonight to discuss. I provided you a copy of the budget I gave you last month. The difference is, there is no difference, because the state has not gotten us our, it has not gotten us our information on our projections for revenue. We have not gotten our ad valorem information in yet. I just gave that, and I wanted to lay that out to you and saying, these are what we're looking at moving forward. Some of which I talked about, like with the parks, and putting money in there for capital to look at different projects. We're also looking at, in the water department, we're looking at new pumps for the water tower. The water tower was built in the 70s, and you know, and we need to start upgrading that as well when we start looking at our water needs. So there's an amount that I need to put in there for the cost of the pumps. There's some things I need to make to it. I just wanted to throw out to you as to what we're looking at from a budget standpoint and the increase of the budget. Not to go through line by line, because as you guys know, we're a bottom line. You know, you guys approve the bottom line, and that's it. But moving forward and taking a look at the budget, and I kind of gave you a breakdown as to what our goals are. You know, our goals as the city has always been looking at the roads, public safety, water, and sewer. And that's been our priorities, and that's what we're looking at moving forward. We do have extra money that we're looking at parks and things like that, start expanding things. But you know, nothing's changed from what I gave you in June. I'm hoping maybe by August I'll have something for you. But if you want to talk in detail or questions about the budget, I'll answer those. But moving forward, that's still waiting on some information from the state before I can come up with a firm budget and a firm budget amount for you guys.
Any questions?
So are we voting on what you're talking about?
For the
Or
budget?
You're just
No.
clarifying?
With what we look at here is the bottom line is the amount is what the commission approves, and then we allocate that number. I don't know what the bottom number is yet, because we don't have the ad valorem tax estimate from the county or the estimates from the state as to what their projections are for revenues and such.
So because I've only been here for 3 months as commissioner, this is my first budget with you guys. So do you normally bring people in to do the workshop, the commission workshop, and go over everything and ask questions? Because
No.
I'm not a bottom line person, I'm a line by line person.
Yeah, and generally this is what we do. There's nobody that comes in and speaks. There's no workshops or anything like that. Budget's presented, and then the commission moves forward from there.
Any comments from the audience?
No, we won't vote on the budget until September during the budget hearing. This is just informational purposes only.
Okay.
And any questions, you can come in and talk to staff.
That's correct.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of the regular city commission meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Approval of financials. an improvement of payment of 80 hours of compensatory overtime. Public Works Director Brian Fletcher.
I'll make a motion for all three.
I'll second it. Any comments from the audience? Is that a roll call?
No, all in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Comments from the city attorney?
I just wanted to touch really briefly on one of the matters that the city manager was just discussing with regard to the Polk Regional Water Cooperative. Is that Tom and I and the city's engineers have been working on obtaining the additional property needed in order to complete that project, and it is a time-consuming process because it is something that we are poised to have to take it and file in the circuit court, but we're ready, willing, and able to do that, and it's just been a process to get there. So I just wanted to let you know that may be filed by the next commission meeting. What we would expect. This is something that the commission has already authorized my office and staff to pursue. But it is underway, and that's all I have.
Comments from the city commissioner? Commissioner Peter?
Yes, I have new business. So for the next meeting, I'd like to recommend for consideration and voting for August that we get the code enforcement officer up-to-date software so he can better do his job. I've been made aware that he's doing things by just paper, kind of old school, and I think that we should find a place in the budget to bring him up to date and be able to have code enforcement.
That's in there.
And then also, I would also like to thank everybody who was part of the patriotic celebration. I know that the staff put that together, and so for the next meeting, I will be giving commissioner letter of accommodations to Daniel Jensen, Samantha Etheridge, Brian Fletcher, Brian Nadeau, and Gary Stroud, because I saw all that they did, and they carried all that in their backs, and I appreciate that. So I'll be giving commissioner's letter of accommodation for that. I thought that it was a great event despite the rain and the bad weather. And also I'd like to take the time to thank the sheriffs, the vendors, the staff, the singer who did everything by himself, the car show participants, the volunteers, and the fireworks technicians. I think that it was a great event considering, like I said, the weather. So. No. So this next thing I've been researching, I've been experiencing, and I basically just can't talk about it anymore. So I have some big concerns, and I'm gonna read what I have. And basically after being a resident here for 7 years, and for being a commissioner for 3 months, I have a fresh perspective on things, and I think that there's some things that I need to share. So in the last 3 months that I've been commissioner, I've discovered and experienced that our city has been run poorly, spanning the past 7 years that Tom has been city manager. I've witnessed unprofessional, lazy, disrespectful, and unacceptable characteristics in him many times that are very concerning considering he's the CEO of our city. I've witnessed him lying multiple times, disregarding concerns and taking credit for things that were not his to claim. After reviewing this new budget proposal, I see that his personal greediness with money for asking for his salary of $124,000, which is double what he was hired here for, and lack of care to collect funds due to the city, adding to our city debt and including a $25 million city hall demo rebuild. Just for some perspective, he's given himself enough raises over 7 years to currently make what the city managers of Orlando and Fort Lauderdale make, per my research online. He is asking for more and our city population is only 3,000 residents, and those other cities have hundreds of thousands of residents. He won't hire new people to fill important positions like starting an HR department or Parks and Rec department or a grant writer or more facilities employees, or to hire an assistant to the city manager, and continuing to not hire people beyond a poverty pay rate. A facilities employee gets $13 an hour to start to work in the Florida sun year-round with no family medical benefits. The only reason to pay someone so low is because it's a reflection of what he thinks our city is worth. He is all talk and no action. He has let the main buildings and roadways of this city fall apart and reach a point of being unsafe, driving up the city's debt while asking for his new salary on his latest budget report to be almost double what he started with 7 years ago, while the small number of employees are underfunded, overworked, and short-staffed year-round. Our city is stuck in crumbling conditions, and our city manager refuses to lead with respectable character and integrity. Instead of being a public servant, he has proven to be self-serving and is not working towards the best interests of the city and the residents, the business growth, public safety, or the mental and financial well-being of the staff. Currently, there are 21 staff members to run all aspects of this city, which does not include a certified building inspector for the hundreds of homes recently built and currently being built. He doesn't hire one because he is fine burdening the one code enforcement officer to do that on his own. That's not even his job. But Tom is in the habit of making his employees do multiple job roles with no extra compensation or training. This forces my hand to make a difficult decision and to speak up, since I am the only commissioner coming into this position with fresh eyes and a different perspective. I love this city, and I have seen for myself for the past 7 years of living here, and now the 3 months serving as commissioner, that Tom Earnhardt is no longer the best fit for our growing city, with a crumbling infrastructure, while the staff is being underfunded and overworked, and not appropriately recognized by the person we pay to make our city the best that it can be. That he's able to make everyone think that he's on top of every issue and working hard with nothing to show for it, because everything that has been achieved over the past 7 years is because of the hard work of the other people, as he takes credit for it and is well practiced in appearing in photo ops to look the part of the great city manager, but is not. I understand that the other commissioners have history with him and may even have become friends. This is not a personal matter, it's city government business, and the integrity of the city has become my business. Because I'm the new outsider, I don't have years of relationships here to cloud my judgment. I have seen and experienced that this city deserves better than what Tom has been willing to give. I make the motion to terminate Tom Earnhardt as the city manager effective immediately, following the statute's process, and having City Clerk Dawn Wright serve as the city manager interim, as she has done twice before in the past, compensating her according to Tom's salary, and until the commission can hire a city manager whose words and actions line up and whose values of the city match their character. If the commission is okay with how Tom has represented our city, then we have a bigger problem. We are here to serve the residents and not to serve ourselves or our friends. Tom has proven that he isn't a resident or a friend to our city, and not the kind of leader that we need. So I make the motion.
Come on, Brian.
There is no.
Second. Brian?
Probably the longest standing employee here, standing there, probably.
Can I step in for just a moment? I just want to, since this is a new time clock and we started off the beginning, there's rules that the commission had adopted back in 2013. This is not officially an action item yet. This is not on the agenda, so unless there's a second, it's up to the commission if they want to take public comment, but I just want to make sure you're aware that there's not a requirement for public comment unless this is an action item, unless there's a second.
I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Sure hope you would. Because I'm sitting there trying to collect my thoughts, because everybody in this room knows me.
It ain't on me.
And I don't want to be rude, and I don't want to be that guy. If you were here 87 versus Danes, I think you would see the difference. And I'm absolutely not saying he done it all. But I know in the last 5 years what he's done for me. And my department has been tremendous. And it's probably because you don't see it. But I feel like, to your point, you say 3 months, you've been here 3 months. And you've met us all a little bit and whatever. But I know this town was in dire debt 5, 6, 7 years ago, millions and millions. And we crunched and we made it get by to get out of debt to move forward. Or that was my thoughts, or where I was headed with it. We were driving around in 1981 pickup trucks, and now it's a full fleet of brand new. And all that's happened in the last 5 years. Now, do I put it all on him? No, I think it's all on us.
I don't put it on me either.
Yeah, it took all of us doing that, by all means, but I can speak and tell you for sure, he's been the only one in my 40 years that's made an attempt to get my salary right. And he's also currently right now, which is in that budget right now, getting out at $13 an hour by a large margin. And you'll see that, if you're reading line by line, you should see it, right? And again, I'm not mentioning anybody else's names because this is me talking as a forever resident, because I have been here my whole life, 2 houses from here. I went to school in that rubber building. I've been through Underwell, I've been through every city manager here, and I am telling you that man right there has went above and beyond to help me make this place better. Everybody else can sit there and not want to say anything or whatever, but for me, it absolutely hasn't been that way. And I respect what you're saying, by all means, but I don't see it that way. Not even close. Because I know the struggles from the past. And we all make mistakes, and I'm not taking his own and Brian's little escapade or whatever else is going on. But, the whole employee thing is on me. It's not really on him. I mean, I've been through 50 applications, separated 6. I mean, nobody knows that but me and him, because I only discuss that with him. He knows, and them, and anybody else in here, Brandon included probably. I have been nothing but an advocate to get this pay up, and he's the only one that's ever been to do it. Ever. And I've been through a bunch. I mean, I have seen a lot come and go, city manager fired, whatever. I appreciate the fact, and I put this in the email to y'all, and anyone y'all can get it, because I assure you it's public record, of his let me do my job attitude. It has helped us tremendously, because we've had those people where they bang you with a stick on the back and they don't even know what we're talking about. Nothing pisses me off more than have somebody tell me how to do my job. If you know how to do it, why ain't you doing it? That's my mentality to it. So I absolutely wouldn't support ever that. I just wouldn't, because I'm not saying he doesn't need improvement, because there's nobody sitting up there or sitting back there that is that perfect, including myself. I guarantee I make some crappy decisions, not every day, but every once in a while, but we do what we gotta do to make things happen, whatever that is. It's no secret. I'm no fan of the Red River Schoolhouse. I say it in a microphone. I don't care. I'm just not a fan of it. It's not because I hate the building. It's because I see a different vision. I respect her, but I see a different vision. But again, I've been here now. 1970, 2000, whatever, like I said. I absolutely, it's just, I'm trying not to get pissed, and everybody knows me by now, that I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to disrespect anybody up there, and I think I'm holding it pretty good so far. But I just can't believe in 3 months' time I shouldn't have called out fire me. When I feel like your better bet would probably come see the real Eagle Lake. That's what I'm saying. Come see the real side of it. Whatever the beef is there, I don't, that don't mean nothing to me. We're not even supposed to be talking, we're supposed to be worried about Eagle Lake. And I swear we get off on everything else. I mean, $200,000 road, $400,000 this year in road. First time in 35 years they paid for road. And that's been since he's been here. So when you think about it, that's the way I see it, is what I've seen him change, and me and other personnel take, or just vehicles and equipment and a building to actually work with, and all that stuff wasn't there prior to him. So I can tell you other city managers, I've dealt with all of them. Some of them are personal friends of mine to this day, but their focus wasn't that. Their focus was, let's make a show, or let's whatever, you know. It's kind of like the water thing. You know, I don't communicate a lot of it up here because it's a pretty bad thing what we got going on with the water thing. It's way worse than that. But he heard me, obviously. He got our attorney to deal with it. I even emailed Heather and gave her a direct explanation of what I felt like he was trying to say to make sure we stayed on the same page. You know, I mean, I'm long term here. I can tell right now. I had never been no more, and I still don't. But I just after him for 3 months to sit up there and want to remove him, and nobody else has said that, which that's not uncommon for Eagle Lake for a lot of people to sit in this audience and talk their crap, but they're not going to do it in front of somebody. I mean, I'm used to that too. I hear it every day. You know, but me and Brandon's built a relationship beyond no other because of what he's done over there. Which his family was friends of mine prior to that. That's beside the whole. So
I appreciate you saying what you said.
I guess what.
And I understand that everybody here has relationships and all that. And I think that's why I come in with fresh eyes.
Sure.
And I cut through everything and I just look at facts.
Sure.
And I have a higher standard for Eagle Lake.
And I'm not in disagreement with that. I'm just in disagreement with saying he ain't done nothing. That's where it just hits me so wrong, and it hits me so wrong because for the first.
Because it's been 7 years, that's why. Because it hasn't been 1 year. That's the thing.
No, we got money in the bank.
Yeah, right.
We never had money in the bank. We got money in the bank. That man's been.
So if there's money in the bank, why does the city look like trash half of it?
You can't control everything.
Well, and to answer your question, because we can have this conversation, the reason this place looks so bad is because nobody's ever put a dime in it in 40 years.
So that's my point, is that it's been 7, and that's where I've lived here 7.
But the man has made a plan, and it's
But it's always a plan, it's never an action.
Nothing is that fast in government, Ms. Peter, I can tell you right now.
And you're only as good as your leader, and also the commission.
So now you're saying I know better than him? Is that what you just said?
I'm talking about him.
I tell you what.
I just
Let's get Biden in on
I
it.
got no, y'all sit there and take that bullshit and go on.
What are you talking about? Might as well talk about Biden. Because you have no idea.
Okay.
May I speak?
Yes.
Alicia Woodard, PO Box 2424, Eagle Lake. I just want to touch real quick on the fact that you said you are factual, but the Chief Administrative Officer of City of Orlando, which is essentially your city manager, makes $283,000 a year, and that was fiscal year 2022.
So like I said, when I look
I'm having public comment right now, so you can let me finish my conversation. I can tell you in the 7 years that Tom has been here, he has done more for this city than anybody has prior to that. My husband is a lifelong resident and his parents are lifelong residents. I will also tell you that decorum as a sitting commissioner is key. You have no decorum sitting in here. A lot of you do not have decorum, and it is embarrassing. We should be more professional. We should be more appropriate with each other. Even the public out here, sitting out here making comments, it needs to stop, okay? We want Eagle Lake to be beautiful. We want Eagle Lake to look great. Well, we need to have a more professional approach to it. And for your history of being here 3 months, you have no idea what it takes to bring somebody out of debt when they're that far in debt in a city. And Tom has done that, and he has a plan in place, and that's all I'll say about that.
So I actually have backup information. That was just my opening, so.
Oh, Lord.
Well, there's Vice Mayor, there was a motion, there's not been a second as yet, that, I just want to put that back out there again, there's been a motion, there hasn't been a second. I do want to recommend against there being any type of personal attacks, be it from the audience to the dais and vice versa, but I'll leave it to the Vice Mayor to decide how to proceed.
So, my backup information for this, because again, this is not personal, I have no beef with him at all. I'm coming in 100% on the business side because I do live here.
I'm not saying it, so whatever.
So, there's just been a lot of conversations that I've had with Tom. When I first came on, I spent a lot of hours trying to figure out where his head was and his vision and that sort of thing. And I've been lied to quite a bit, and there's been a lot of inconsistencies. So some things that I've seen that have been some unethical is when I went in to talk about parks during an audit, and I brought up about how there's supposed to be 4 acres offered to every 1,000 residents. His solution for that was that we can use the HOA neighborhood parks that counts towards the 4 acres. So you can't do that. That would be promoting trespassing. And I explained that to him, and he kind of skirted around that. I kind of feel like he's kind of a yes man, and he's a likable guy. That's not what's up for debate here. He's a likable guy. It's just that for running the city into the future and using the motto of growing with people in mind, maybe 7 years ago, but not for today and not with all the growth. When I had asked him why he isn't advertising on social media for a facilities worker, his answer to me was, we're waiting for his facility director, Brian, to steal workers away from another city like Bartow. That's why we're not advertising. He said, that's how we got our code enforcement guy, was we stole him away from Lake Wales. So these are the kinds of things that I have concern about. Not if he's likable, and not if he says he has a plan on paper. The things that have actually happened. When I asked him why we don't promote the commission meeting in all of the new locations, in all the new communities, he said most of the new communities are renters and they don't matter. Well, that's not true because they're residents.
I did not say that.
You did say that.
No, I did not.
You did say that.
Okay, whatever you want to say, you know.
You did say that. You said those are just renters. And they started listing off.
I said they're
community.
primarily renters that are moving in there is what I said.
Right, and it was about why we weren't advertising or contacting communities about the commission meetings.
I'm not going to go about that.
That's fine.
It's silly.
Commissioner Fian,
Yes.
we understand that where you sit on this subject. You don't need to go any further. We understand where you're coming from.
So I would still like to read everything.
Just
And
make
so,
a come on, vote on.
so as a commissioner, I have a right to say everything that I would like to say.
3 minutes,
No, that's for them. That's not for me.
but we won't make it for you.
And this commission is also a big part of the problem, but. So. Also, he never contacted the city attorney last month when there were lots of legal issues going on about code enforcement and the commission and residents being targeted. I'm the one who had to call the city attorney. So again, that's not okay. As a CEO of the city, it shouldn't be her finding out from me what was going on. That shouldn't be happening. To me, I find that their lack of things is just a lazy a lazy disposition. On the cleanup day that got approved last month, he left me hanging on the set date. I had sent the date, I made the advertisement, and he sent me a response, and then I responded back and explained to him why I wanted to get it done before the patriotic celebration so that the corridor would look good, and he never replied back. So my family and I just did the cleanup on our own from here down to 17 and then back up until our 4 batteries had died, and then we had to stop, but we at least did it. But as far as the city manager, he should be returning the email, he should be talking to me, he should be contacting us to come in. Also, he didn't speak on the microphone at the A&E grand opening, nor did we run any part of it. Winter Haven did everything, and when I asked him, you know, how come we're not running the grand opening? It's in our city limits. Well, you know, why aren't you talking? Why is Mayor not talking? Why aren't we doing anything? And he basically said, well, the county's going to run it. But everybody was wearing Winter Haven. Everybody was wearing Winter Haven identification. They did an amazing, beautiful job. But it wasn't us, and that's sad because it's our grand opening of a business that's coming in to Eagle Lake, and he didn't do anything about it, and then he just lied about why. He didn't attend the Lake Region graduation as a dignitary on stage to shake the hands of the graduates, nor did he film a video to congratulate them. The video of Winter Haven's mayor was played on the Jumbotron instead, and I was the only one there to represent the city. We have one high school in the city, and he can't make it to attend the graduation this year or last. I'm not sure if he attended the year before. He didn't attend the Code 101 training class that was offered by our code enforcement officer in Lakeland. It was just me and that gentleman. And he supposedly has a code enforcement background, so this should have been something that he should have been to. Lots of other city managers were there. The patriotic celebration, he didn't welcome or thank the residents over the microphone. He didn't thank the vendors, the police, the staff. He didn't mention anything even about why we were there or about that we're, so blessed to be in this, great country. It was just standing up there and mumbling about the judges. It was kind of embarrassing. Because this should be the face of our town, or he could have given it to the mayor and she could have announced it. The mayor and I were both there. We weren't introduced, we weren't, there was nothing. I mean, it should have been the mayor, it should have been Tom, but he didn't, he didn't allow for it.
Well, while you gather your thoughts, you mentioned that he didn't thank us over the radio. He came in person and thanked us for attending. Also, the Sheriff's Office took over Eagle Lake Police Department in 2007. Right now we're contracted for 5 different cities. Those cities include Mulberry, Polk City, Fort Meade, Dundee, and Frostproof. Monthly we have countywide ProCap meetings where we discuss all the crime trends and everything throughout the entire county. I can tell you hands down, Eagle Lake is killing the other cities when it comes to stats, and most of that is in part of the support we get from our city manager. I think there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you may not be aware of. Matter of fact, we had Fishing with Judd the other day. He was the only city manager out of all the cities. We have Haines City, we have all these other cities that we are not responsible for. He was the only city manager out of any city in Polk County that was there. He was out there, with kids and stuff, helping hand out gifts. We had more water guns and more other toys for the Fishing with Judd. We don't stop until every kid catches a fish, and then once they're done, we feed them lunch, and then once we're done with that, we hand out gifts and stuff. He was right there handing out the stuff. Another reason we're so successful is they take care of us. If there's equipment that we need that can improve the safety for our residents, I don't have to ask twice. I can't tell you how many times I've needed something and literally next day it showed up in my box. Through the Sheriff's Office, if there's equipment like that, it could be months, years, or denied. I can't tell you how nice it is to have that other avenue to get us the equipment that we need. Without a doubt, all of our guys have radars. A lot of the guys, agency-wide, don't have radars. That's because of him. We have a lot of other investigative resources around the city that protect us. We're by far leading all of the other cities with that, and that, again, that is because of him. Having that support from him has made my job, I can't tell you how much easier. I'm probably the most hated city sergeant in the county because it's putting the pressure on the other 5 cities, asking why they're not doing what we are doing. But I can tell you hands down, it's because of a lot of the stuff that he's bought us. So, like I said, and you're welcome to come with us and hang out, and maybe you can see some other stuff that he does for us. But
I'm only going on things that I personally witnessed.
okay. Do you have any questions?
No, I think you guys have done a great job, and I understand that, you know, the people who are in charge this is their boss. So I understand the desire to want to come and say something, especially when I'm not like the popular commissioner. So I get that. So I appreciate people wanting to go and champion him.
My boss is very.
So, you know what, I'm gonna champion him too.
Because I know, that's what
I apologize. I'm gonna champion him too. Tom is a hell of a guy. He's done a good job for Eagle Lake, okay? We may not see eye to eye. I may see other things that, you know, different than other residences, but with all due respect, when we need something, he's there. I've walked in his office many a time. Have I not? I'm sorry.
Can we get you on the record?
I know, I'm sorry. I'm tired of coming up here to this damn
In
podium.
the future, we can start to identify.
So I apologize, you know, when, just as a resident, I don't know him personally, he's not my friend. Well, sorry, you are, but you're not. So,
We wave to each other.
yeah, I mean, we may butt heads, and I may have a vision for this community, but he's never turned his back on any requests that we've made. He's always been there. He's always had his door open. I was actually gonna bid on this new development here. I decided not to. I came to the pre-bid meeting. Okay? But I'll be honest with you, I think you're off on your assumptions or your accusations. So, sorry.
Corey?
Good evening, folks. My name is Corey Bowler. I live at 758 North 9th Street. I suspect I would be part of what you were saying is the problem, being that I have served on this commission in some capacity over the last decade or so. I am a lifelong Polk County resident, and I have 2 small children who live here in the city. It has been a big portion of the time of the commission to try and expand services that are available to our residents, whether that's in parks, whether that's in facilities, whether that's in what we're able to produce and to fill out. There are a lot of opportunities to be able to try and impart things. There is a lot of wisdom that's shared amongst the commission, even though there's the tendency to try and have a good time, right? We're not trying to be so rigid that we can't, be human. I would question that for someone who has such a love for the city that like day one you came in with a binder full of 50 things that you would change about the city. I want this place to be better. Everybody in this audience wants this place to be better, but I can tell you that the city manager that is in place is a good fit for this town and has done tremendous things for the city. I can tell you that when I first started on commission, we didn't have any employees that were in the audience. They're engaged. They want to know what's going on with the city. They come in and show their support for the city manager and for the commission and the residents that are here. I think to echo some of the sentiment, if you look around, right, you're going based on some of the, I think and I feel, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, if you are listening to these are things that have happened, things that I've experienced, things that I've seen as a resident as well.
You've made statements, but you've not provided any solid information. Happy to look at data. I am a data-driven guy, right? I can tell you that when we started, we had miles and miles and miles of roads that were absolutely crumbling. Not just a little crack here, not just a little crack there. We had a city manager who said, yeah, we'll thin pave, it'll be the revolution, it'll be great, it'll stretch our money so much farther, and it didn't. And Tom has come in and made sure that we allocate money, that we set money aside for being able to pave roads, that we've got improvement projects that are going on. And what everybody refers to as a Taj Mahal isn't a Taj Mahal. It's there for the residents as much as it is for the employees. And it's what we're going to need to be able to move into the future instead of splitting everything out in 10 different places in the middle of 17. It's to provide that infrastructure, a new library for people to be able to come in and check out books and access the internet and learn things and take workshops. We have a phenomenal librarian that we were able to bring in from Winter Haven. We have a phenomenal coach out there brought in from the city of Lake Williams. We had a lot of challenges with being able to enforce code when we were trying to sub it out with the county. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience. We had no control. So I would implore you to take some time.
Well, I mean, I could also remind you, because you were the mayor, and I took your seat because you stepped down because you didn't want to disclose financials. So I'm up here because you stepped away.
You're absolutely correct.
So.
Which a court has already provided an injunction to that said that it's unconstitutional.
Right, and I'm sitting in your seat because you stepped away, but you want to talk at every single meeting and try and find things wrong with what I'm saying, and I'm literally doing the best with the information that I've experienced, and there's a lot more to it. And again, it's not emotional. It's not if he's a nice guy and he's, after 7 years, finally gonna get the roads done. And, we don't need a tetanus shot to play in the park. And then I'm up here with the commission board that won't even second the things that I said. So I'd like you to be here and face what I'm facing.
Your personal projects, your personal vendettas that you want to have.
There's no vendetta. It's me being a resident. And me seeing and having.
This is a mayor, you need to listen.
That's a jerk move.
That sounds professional.
That's jerk, dude.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Be respectful.
He's showing me the phone, like, oh, look in the mirror. You should look in the mirror.
What's inappropriate? I'm literally giving all of the background information, so it's not just me saying, this is what I think. I'm giving actual information.
Respectfully, for the record, there was a motion about a half hour ago, and it's not been seconded. That's where I came in at the very beginning.
So then I'm giving more information so that it's clear.
The motion's on the floor. If it's not seconded, then it's up to the chair to determine whether it dies for a lack of a second and we move on. That was just a point of, this discourse is, the city manager didn't come to the meeting tonight to be on trial.
At this point, I would say we've heard enough.
But I'm allowed to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm within my scope of being able to make this motion. And then
my understanding was there was a motion made, you made comments, and there was a motion made, and then there is yet to be a second. And at that point is typically when more discussion takes place, but if there's not a second, then the chairman or the mayor would declare whether the motion dies for lack of a second.
So then I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm continuing on with everything that I have.
The way it was presented earlier, it appeared to me as though the motion was made and then we were waiting for a second.
And then people have spoken like there's nothing wrong with what is going on. So unless people just want to end this, but then that wouldn't be professional either because I'm doing what is in my scope.
That's going to be a judgment call of the vice mayor. I'm just making it as a point of order. It's the vice mayor's discretion on how to handle the situation.
I think at this point that we've got the gist of what you're trying to say. And we should move on from this point to another. Do you have any other comments?
I do, but I'm being told that I...
No, I mean, other than concerning Mr. Earnhardt.
And concerning what?
Concerning him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that I had more to support what I was saying.
Let's move on. Do you have any comments?
I'm done.
I'm done. Motion for adjournment?
I got something.
We need to, Vice Mayor, we really do need to wrap.
It's 2 seconds, I swear to God.
It's up to the Vice Mayor.
Go ahead.
I feel like it'd be very good. Is there anything legality that we can actually have a meeting with like all the commissioners rather than making fools of ourselves? Because everybody watching a lot of this is posted on YouTube, everything, and this ain't a good look for the city. And I feel like everybody needs to get on the same page here. Is there any way that there's any kind of like legality where everybody could meet up and talk about things like not in a public hearing per se? Like, I mean, I feel like there has to be something to this because
Like a town hall?
Because of the sunshine law, the only time we can talk about these things is up here.
strictly up here in front of public and all.
That's not true. We're able to do a workshop, which is what I keep asking him to do, where we can discuss it. That's what I'm saying is, because we haven't even been properly introduced. I haven't been introduced to the staff members, like no training, like that's what I'm saying, is that we are supposed to be able to do this, and most cities will do that. Before this, there's usually a meeting that a city manager will have with the commissioners, and that falls under the sunshine law, so that we all know what's going on, and it doesn't have to take place like this. That's what I've been asking for 3 months.
I feel like our sergeant here something can be done so where if I get the sunshine law where it can't be talked about, we could do it in a public area, but not in public where we can actually talk back, get differences out of it, because it's just like me and him talk twice a day, once a day at minimum. So whenever we go and actually do things, we don't look like we don't know what we're doing, and that's exactly what this city is doing right now. It's looking like we don't know what we're doing, and the whole world's watching on YouTube and stuff, and it's not a good look for the city right now. So I feel like for the benefit of the commissioners, the workers, and even the public here, I feel like there has to be something where we gotta come up with some common ground to be where everybody's in agreement where we can have. When somebody has a difference with Tom, I feel like they should be able to present it to them and stuff like that, but some of this stuff's got, like, I mean, me and him talk more, but this is, I don't know, like, I do feel bad for Tom on a standpoint of something like this, and me and him's had our differences, we talk about it, but we definitely talk about it, so before we go into public, we both know what we're doing, and this ain't no disrespect to you, or none of y'all, or anything like that, but we gotta have it. Y'all are more welcome to have it at the restaurant. That's more of a public record or public thing than anything. Everybody can come in there, we scream and yell at each other, and then we can come in here so we look professional, and that's all I really gotta say.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
So because of the sensitivity of this, we're not allowed to discuss this. So like if I'm feeling that, or if I'm seeing that, okay, the things that I've seen are not what I think that the city manager should be doing, I can't go discuss that with them, because that could be trying to sway a vote. So, I'm not friends with them outside of here. We don't discuss things outside of here, which is why I keep bringing up doing a workshop or doing a meeting and going like, what's coming up, what's the vision, what's the plan, and we can do that legally. But what I'm proposing, I can't bring that up in some type of other thing. So that would be one topic that we couldn't bring up. And this is how it's done with city government, is one person brings it up and it usually shocks everybody because they're not gonna know. They're not supposed to know. So it is uncomfortable, but this is how you hire and you terminate within this. This is the only way to do it. There's no other way you can just do it privately. So I'm sorry that it's uncomfortable for everybody. It's uncomfortable for me. I don't like this either. But it's what I think needs to be said and needs to be done if we're going to stick with the motto of growing with people in mind. And for 7 years, I just think he's run its course. And that's it. It's literally nothing personal. Nothing personal at all. It really has to do with just city. And this is how it has to be done, where it's shocking and it makes that one person look like it came out of nowhere.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
I
make that a motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.